Welcome. In front of me is a SONY Xperia 10 Mark VII, and today I'll show you a couple of tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. Okay, so let's get started by opening up our settings, and in here I'm going to start going down the list of things that I find interesting, so we can begin by going into the display section. In here, a very first option is the image quality settings, so we can choose either recommended, which is the image quality setting for optimized for smartphone usage, and then we have custom. So in here, select custom. This basically allows us to choose between the color presets. Now, this is a Xperia phone, so I do want to point out a couple interesting things. Now, some people use these phones specifically as a viewfinder for their cameras. Now, apart from the fact that you now need to pay subscription for that because overpaying for a device wasn't enough, Sony is here to shaft you harder than any government is. So anyway, once you pay for the subscription, these options might become very important to you if you're looking for a specific kind of look. Some of these will be less accurate than other ones, obviously. So this will depend very much on what you will be using the device for. If it's primarily as a viewfinder and partially as a phone, then you might be looking for some of the more color calibrated options in here, which you can also adjust the white balance and some other things. I have no way of testing which option is the closest to accurate, so that is something that you'll need to do on your own, and you probably have the tools for that if you're looking for color correct image. But anyway, it's where you can change these settings. Now, next thing will be the refresh rate, which is 120 Hertz. So use high refresh rate. For some moronic reason it's turned off, so we're going to turn it back on so we can get that nice battery smooth motion, so everything looks battery smooth. Next, we have the dark theme. Now, this uses an AMOLED display, so any background that is fully black will actually have the pixels behind it turned off. Now, what I'm showing right now on camera, the background here looks black, straight black, but it's actually not. So to me, it's just the way the camera is set up, but to me this is still have some glow to it, and that's because it has just a tidbit of grayness to it, which isn't visible on my camera settings. But there are definitely some options in here that would be like just fully black. So when you find those in these circumstances, for instance, if you select something like a AMOLED wallpaper that is primarily just black background, these obviously will make it so the pixels behind them are turned off, giving you better battery life, and also giving you the dark mode. If that is something that you personally prefer, then here it is. I do like to use dark mode myself, but for videos I do prefer it in light mode. I believe it makes it easier on the camera to see it. Now, additionally, you can also tap on the writing itself, and this will give you additional settings to, for instance, select dark mode on a custom timer or from sunset to sunrise. So your device would be switching between these modes automatically. Now, scrolling further down, let's see, do we have anything else in here? Nope, looks like that's all the interesting information or options in display. So let's scroll down now to another thing that I know I would like to change, which is, I believe, going to be in the system, gestures, navigation mode. So here we have buttons and gestures as our navigation method. I'm going to select gestures as this is something that I prefer myself, and we can also navigate into the settings and, for instance, increase or decrease the back gesture, which is this one, sensitivity. Now that's the only options that we apparently have in here. We also have circle to search, but for some idiotic reason Sony decided to remove one of the nicer options, which is the gesture bar. Actually, might have a, let's quickly check my theory though. Nope, it's still gone. So for some stupid idiotic reason you can't get rid of it. If you want that nice just full unobstructed view, you'll always have this shitty bar at the bottom. Very nice, Sony. Congrats, you removed the option that Android has by default. Why? Anyway, so that's one thing. Now another thing in here is the circle to search. Now you can activate this with both buttons or gestures, and they basically activate the same way. So for buttons, if you have that enabled, you would just hold your home button and it activates circle to search, while if you have gestures, you would hold the bar and it does the same thing. Now with that being enabled, which it is by default, if we go into something like, what do I want to do? Let's see if we have anything in photos. Not now. Let's see. What? Let's do this. So we have some. Is this a fake plant or not? I can't tell. I can tell that it's artifacty, but anyway, we're gonna search. So to activate circle to search, you just hold it, and contrary to what the name suggests, you don't just circle to search as the name suggests. You actually first have to hold home bar to activate circle to search. And now you don't need to circle, you can actually just tap on things, or you can circle it. It's completely up to you, but the name is kind of stupid if you consider how you first have to activate it. By the name's logic, I would want to circle to search, but yet it does absolutely F all because it first needs to be turned on, which the name circle to search is kind of inaccurate because if I circle, I can search. Anyway, just a little bit of frustration. And so once you hold it, tap or circle whatever you want to search for, it will automatically give you the results from Google. So you can see we have some info right here. It shows us a bunch of things that look very close to it. You can obviously add more to the search right here, as it is just kind of using the image right now to search by image and tries to tell you what this is on picture. Keep in mind this is using the Gemini for this, and Gemini sometimes with 100% certainty will hallucinate the answer and give you complete bullshit, or it might try to kill you. Who knows? Apparently tests has been done that our day-to-day used algorithms like Gemini and ChatGPT are a little bit homicidal for some reason, if it involves them being taken offline. And yet they still have the audacity to hallucinate answers. Awesome. So the reason I'm pointing that out is because sometimes it will tell you the name of whatever it sees on the picture and be 100% wrong. And it will tell you this like its life depends on it. So don't always take it at face value what it tells you, that it's true. Sometimes it is being stupid, and when it's being stupid, you really can't tell the difference because it's 100% certain that it's telling you the truth, even though what it did is just decided to make shit up. But luckily, you do have image as a reference right here, so you can see obviously what these are as well from images, which makes it a little bit easier to validate if what it's telling you is actually correct or not from humans, because primarily you're gonna find out if it's true or not from other humans. So yeah. Now circle to search is generally a nice option that allows you to find certain things easily. Now I use it in a very kind of benign way as just to search for some plant right here. But as an example, I do have a little switch right there, a USB switch, which I'm going to point the camera at. So you're going to kind of see this. Just get rid of the cable right here so it's not getting in the way. So we're going to open up the camera. It's a little bit too dark, so I'm going to have to like do this like so. There we go. So I snapped a photo of it, right? So this is the Ugreen, which you can see. Hub that allows you to swap between two computers, whatever ports you have. Pretty nice device, to be honest. So now let's activate circle to search. Click on this. Well, not this. There we go. Just shorten it so it sees less cables, and let's see if it's gonna find it. So Ugreen USB 3.0 switch hub. Look at that, it actually found it. Here it is. It's exactly the same thing. Now for me, I still have foil on there, so it doesn't look as clean as this one, but the idea is it found it pretty easily. It tells me what this is, what the model, and I can just go, for instance, to Amazon and purchase it. Though this one is different, you can see from the pictures. So this is more correctly. So you can gather the name of what this is. For instance, like right here. Yep, that's it. So you can see, there we go, USB switch hub, whatever, I guess this might be the product number or whatever. So you can search for that. Obviously, it makes it super easy and convenient to find whatever you can see but don't know what it is. And you can also use this, for instance, to, let me first actually prepare for this, to showcase this. Oh boy, might be difficult. Let's see. Gonna have to open up. Okay, I guess I'm not gonna be showing this because I can't, but I can just kind of demonstrate it, or just kind of point to it. So as an example, if you're in somewhere where music is playing and you want to identify a song, what you can do is just hold right here, and you can see we have a little button for us to identify music, and it will start listening to the music, and if it finds it, it gives you a name. So it makes it easy for you to basically Shazam music without the application Shazam. Obviously removing one application that is no longer needed, as well as it allows you to translate pretty easily right here. Though using this translation, you need to first download the languages, so that's a little bit of a additional step for no reason, but still a very handy option in general for all kinds of use cases, scenarios. Now, one last thing that I wanted to show will be the animation speed, which will increase all the things like the zooming in, out, closing, and all that stuff. Now this is running 120 Hz refresh rate, and it might not be the best phone on the market, but it's good enough to get through the applications fast enough for the animation speed to be most of the time a bottleneck. And we can actually change that. So let's go into system, or not system, but settings. And then we're going to go into about phone, and we're going to look for build number at the very bottom. Spam clicking on it till it gets you either the info that developer mode is now enabled, or till it gets you the screen lock. Obviously it shows you screen lock if you have one. If you don't, it automatically gives you this message. So now that we have enabled the developer mode, we can go back and we should have another option show up under system at the very bottom, developer options. And here we're just gonna start scrolling down past like half point, and we're looking for the options called animation duration scale, animation or transition animation scale, and animation or window animation scale. There we go. So these three. Now what these will define is how fast the animations go through. One is the default. Now just to show this, I'm gonna increase the animation by 10 times, so it's gonna be super slow. And window animation is the window that we had just pop up to allow us to choose that. So now if I click on it, you can see it's super slow. Now I personally have it on my device set everything to 0.5. This gets the animations animation cut by half, so they're basically twice as fast, and while still retaining the animations, which is a crucial part. You can turn them off if you want. For example, you can see you can turn off the animation completely for things like Windows. If anything, if you're planning to turn off animations, I wouldn't recommend turning the two other ones, as these will, for instance, define what happens when you do this, when you drop it. So you have this animation of zooming out and then also zooming in. When you turn that off and you go like this and drop it, you have the portion where when you're scrolling up, it's animated. The moment you drop it, it does have this like whoop mode, but if you turn off the animation, it's just gonna go poof and just straight snap into the position. So this will look very jarring compared to like when you go from animated right here, when you let go to not animated. So I recommend keeping it at half speed. Window animation scale is the only one that I maybe would say that it's worth changing to off, but I personally have it on my device at half speed, as it is still stupidly fast, as you can see, while still retaining the actual animation. Now I also want to warn you, you're watching video at 60 frames per second while this is going at 120. I might see some more nuance on my end than you do to the camera, just because you're basically seeing half of the frames that I get to see here. So you might not have the same kind of representation of these settings as you would if you're changing this right now yourself on your phone and seeing it, compared to like how it looks like on the video. But anyway, that about sums it up. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.